Hey, dividend surfers. What if I told you there's a $19 billion company that's powering the AI revolution, but 99% of investors have never heard of it? While everyone's obsessing over NVIDIA, this company is quietly becoming the backbone of artificial intelligence. Welcome back to Dividend Surge, where we surf the waves of American stock wealth. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into CoreWeave, the AI infrastructure giant that started as crypto miners and became worth more than most S&P 500 companies. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this company might be the most important AI investment opportunity you can't access yet. And trust me, when you hear their origin story, you'll see why sometimes the best investments come from the most unexpected places. Picture this. It's 2017. Bitcoin is exploding. Everyone's mining crypto in their basements and garages. CoreWeave was just another mining operation. Guys with warehouses full of GPUs grinding away at Ethereum blocks. But here's where the story gets incredible. When crypto crashed hard in 2018, most miners went broke or sold their equipment at fire sale prices. CoreWeave had a different vision. They looked at their massive infrastructure, thousands of GPUs, optimized cooling systems, industrial power management, and asked one game-changing question. What else can we do with all this computational power? The answer was artificial intelligence. And that pivot just created a $19 billion company in 7 years. Their recent numbers are absolutely insane. Revenue grew 1,000% in 2023, not 100%, 1,000%. Over 35,000 NVIDIA GPUs across their data centers. $2.3 billion investment from NVIDIA themselves. Exclusive access to the latest H100 B200 chips. When NVIDIA writes you a $2.3 billion check, they're not just investing in you. They're betting their entire future on your success. Here's what most investors don't understand about the AI ecosystem. Everyone sees NVIDIA making the chips and thinks that's the whole story. But someone has to turn those chips into actual computing power that companies can use. That's where CoreWeave becomes absolutely critical. Think of it this way. NVIDIA is like Ferrari making the engines. CoreWeave is the Formula One team that takes those engines and builds championship-winning race cars around them. Their competitive advantages are staggering. First, infrastructure already built. While competitors spend years and billions building data centers, CoreWeave already has the infrastructure ready to go. Plug-and-play AI computing power. Second, cost advantage. Clients save 30 to 50% compared to traditional cloud providers like AWS or Microsoft Azure. In AI, where compute costs can make or break a startup, that's game-changing. Third, speed to market. Average deployment time, 2 weeks instead of 2 years. When you're competing in AI, speed is everything. Fourth, specialized for AI. AWS and Azure are general-purpose clouds trying to adapt to AI. CoreWeave was designed from day one for AI workloads. It's like comparing a Swiss Army knife to a precision surgical tool. The client list speaks for itself. OpenAI runs ChatGPT on CoreWeave. Stability AI powers stable diffusion through them. Character.ai serves millions of users using CoreWeave infrastructure. When the creators of the most important AI applications choose your platform, that tells you everything about your competitive position. Here's the part that should keep Amazon and Microsoft executives awake at night. NVIDIA didn't just invest $2.3 billion in CoreWeave. They gave them exclusive access to their most advanced chips. This creates what I call the CoreWeave mode. First, access to new NVIDIA architectures. Optimized software stack built specifically for NVIDIA hardware. Direct engineering collaboration with NVIDIA teams. Priority allocation during chip shortages. But here's the really interesting part. Recent industry reports show that AI workload demand is growing 300% year over year, but traditional cloud providers are struggling to keep up. Their general-purpose infrastructure wasn't built for the massive parallel processing that AI requires. CoreWeave's infrastructure was literally born for this. Every single component was optimized for the exact computational patterns that AI models need. Surge alert, investment opportunity assessment. Is CoreWeave worth the hype? Let's break it down. Pros, perfect market timing, NVIDIA partnership, proven client base, massive growth. Cons, private company, high competition risk from tech giants, NVIDIA dependency. Verdict, this could be the next major tech IPO, potentially bigger than most recent listings. Look, I'm not here to sell you a fairy tale. Every investment has risks, and CoreWeave has some real ones. Competition from tech giants. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have unlimited resources. They could decide to build competing AI-specific infrastructure. Though honestly, they're years behind, and their legacy systems make pivoting difficult. NVIDIA dependency. If NVIDIA stumbles, or if competitors like AMD gain significant market share in AI chips, CoreWeave feels it immediately. But right now, NVIDIA's moat in AI hardware looks pretty solid. AI bubble concerns. If AI hype crashes like crypto did, specialized infrastructure companies get hit hardest. But unlike crypto, AI is solving real business problems with measurable ROI. Regulatory risk. As AI infrastructure becomes strategically important, government regulation could impact operations. We're already seeing this discussion in Washington. Here's my take. These risks are manageable compared to the upside potential of being the infrastructure backbone of the AI revolution. Sometimes the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Since CoreWeave is private, here are the ways to get exposure to this trend. For accredited investors, pre-IPO platforms like EquityZen sometimes have CoreWeave shares. Minimums usually start at $100,000. For everyone else, the NVIDIA play remains strong. When CoreWeave succeeds, NVIDIA succeeds. AI infrastructure ETFs are getting exposure to similar companies. Watch for the eventual IPO. Could be one of the biggest tech listings ever. Portfolio fit. This represents the infrastructure layer of the AI revolution. Not sexy like ChatGPT, but absolutely essential. Perfect for investors who want AI exposure without betting on specific applications. The key lesson: while everyone's fighting over the AI companies making headlines, the smart money is positioning in the companies that make those headlines possible. CoreWeave represents something rare in investing. Perfect positioning at the intersection of massive technological trends. They're not just riding the AI wave, they're providing the surfboards. From crypto mining basement to $19 billion AI empire in 7 years. That's the kind of transformation that creates generational wealth for early investors. You might not be able to buy CoreWeave shares today, but understanding companies like this helps you identify the patterns. The infrastructure plays. The picks and shovels businesses that power technological revolutions. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes to the hidden giants of the AI boom. Subscribe for more deep dives into the companies Wall Street doesn't want you to know about. And drop a comment. What other under-the-radar AI infrastructure companies should we analyze next? Remember, this isn't financial advice. Always do your own research. But in the AI revolution, information advantage is everything. Keep surfing those dividend waves, and I'll see you in the next one.